Welcome back, Truth Seeker. In the headlines, Wednesday, September 5th, was the death of JFK's nephew at age 63. And when I say JFK in 63, what's it make you think of? The year JFK was assassinated, 1963. The day he died was this past Tuesday, September 4th. And I want to show you what's so interesting about that. But first, notice that in Gematria, nephew equals 35, so does Catholic. JFK, the only Catholic president, the 35th president, dead in 63. Now, the report is, come down here and show you, the report is that he died September 4th and his family shared the information Wednesday, September 5th. And the thing about September 4th is it's the day leaving 118 days left in the year. And JFK was killed in Dallas, Texas, which has Gematria of 118, a number of death. Recall, on this date, I said to watch out for George Herbert Walker Bush. I thought he might even kick the bucket on September 4th. But instead, what we heard about George Herbert Walker Bush is that he was honored for his 1,000 points of light. And 1,000 points of light in Gematria sums to 94, like his current age 94, and a lot like the date 9/4, September 4th. George Herbert Walker Bush was in Dealey Plaza the day JFK was assassinated. A lot of people know there's something very suspicious about this story, and a lot of people want to find the answers. So on this same day, Papa Bush getting, celebrated for his 1,000 points of light. Remember, Freemasonry is the pursuit of light. The 1,000 points of light was George Herbert Walker Bush's campaign promise in 1988 when he ran for office. And consider the Bush family the only presidential family with their portraits on the wall in the Masonic Temple in Washington, D.C., the House of the Temple. So, when I predicted to watch out for Bush headlines September 4th and he might die that day, he didn't die, but we did hear about him, and we haven't heard about him since his doctor was shot in a bicycle drive-by shooting, as ridiculous as that story was. And the last time we heard about him before that was him being hospitalized. And before that, it was his wife Barbara dying by the numbers. So, my call for George Herbert Walker Bush on September 4th, not so bad. He ended up being in the news after all. And now we get this story about JFK's dead nephew on this day when there's a parallel between JFK and Bush. So, as a reminder, this happened on September 4th, 9/4. When you write out 94, like how old Herbert Walker is, and let's not forget that George Herbert Walker Bush equals 118. When you write out 41, it sums to 118. He was the 41st president. Anyway, when you write out 94, it sums to 147. When you write out President of the United States, it sums to 147. U.S. President, 147. There's 147 windows on the White House. Freemason equals 147. Conspiracy equals 147. It was 1968, the year that the CIA helped push the term conspiracy theorist to dismiss people who were researching the JFK assassination. And who were researching it rightfully so, because it didn't add up. The facts didn't make any sense. Long precedent of lying to the people in this country and people not questioning, and people who do question getting labeled with these things such as conspiracy theorist, when in fact it's conspiracy fact, and if you don't see it, you're a coincidence theorist. But check this out. Christopher Lawford, dead at 63 on this suspicious date. They said he died from a heart attack, having Gematria 36. The reflection is 63. Heart attack in the base ciphers also sums to 108, like Dealey Plaza, where JFK was killed in 63. Christopher Lawford's birthday is March 29th. And from his birthday to the day he died, September 4th, is 159 days later. Scottish Rite equals 159. And Dealey Plaza, where JFK was killed, is named after a Scottish Rite Freemason. Just like the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry has their headquarters in D.C., just like how George Washington, which the city's named after, George Washington was a Scottish Rite Freemason. Now look, the family put out this tweet on September 5th, 5/9, John F. Kennedy, 59. And on that same day, September 5th, we got the story about all the ill people at JFK International Airport. JFK International Airport, also 147. What do you know? And later in the day, it emerged that Vanilla Ice was on the plane where everybody was sick. Vanilla Ice is from Dallas. You see how this riddle works? The word vanilla also has Gematria of 118. Call it a coincidence. 118 like Dallas, Texas, like this man, the nephew of JFK, dead at 63 on the day leaving 118 days left in the year. I had somebody ask me earlier today how a heart attack can be blamed as a murder. If you're seriously asking me that question, maybe educate yourself a little bit. There's a lot of fatal chemicals that can be inserted in someone's food or beverage that will induce a heart attack and kill them. You know, people have been murdered with poison for a long time, from arsenic to other things. Hot doses and drugs, you know. His full name, Christopher Kennedy Lawford, also Gematria of 127, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry for one more connection. And it's been a day, or a whole week, of JFK riddles. Also today in Brazil, a 63-year-old presidential candidate was stabbed. This happened on September 6th, 9/6, like 96, Freemason equals 96. The day JFK was shot, 11/22/63, date with 96 numerology. This presidential hopeful that was stabbed, Gematria 59, like John F. Kennedy. Don't forget Freemasonry is 59 as well. Don't forget Masonic stabbing and killing, all 74 on the Ides of March, to remember the stabbing of Caesars on the 74th day of the year. Don't forget any of it. So, you know, you want to learn this code, you want to pay attention. You might make some predictions in this world that don't exactly come true, but at the same time, you're probably not going to be too far off. Watch for Papa Bush on September 4th, and then boom, there he is. 1,000 points of light. Here, in case you missed that work, it was right here. The news story came on September 3rd that on September 4th he would be honored for his 1,000 points of light. September 3rd, the day leaving 119 days left in the year. 1,000 points of light has Gematria of 119. Also has Gematria 94 in the Chaldean cipher. Same cipher where George Bush equals 41. Like how he was the 41st president. That's why the 94-year-old gets honored on September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. And just in case you didn't see my coverage of that, let's talk about Papa Bush and 118 real quick. Papa Bush. Papa Bush, by the way, was hospitalized on May 27th, the 147th day of the year. Don't forget that. From Barbara's death to the 17-year anniversary of September 11th is 147 days. She died on the 17th on a date with 59 numerology, 59 the 17th prime. She died in a span of 41 days from her husband getting hospitalized. But here it is right here. George Herbert Walker Bush, 118, 41, 118. He was in Dallas, Texas, 118, the day JFK was killed. You know, Skull and Bones gets their symbolism from an ossuary, 118. Both the Bush presidents and Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones 41. I don't want to be too redundant, but I do want people to understand what I'm saying and that this code's undeniable. And if you learn this code, you'll have new eyes to see, like Roddy Piper in They Live. Try out Gematria.com, type in the word they, then type in Freemasonry, then type in Secret Society. Type in the motto from that movie, They Live, We Sleep. After you do that, notice the 74. Then type in Gematria. Then type in English. Then type in Masonic. Then type in George Washington. Might see a pattern there with 74. You most certainly will. Try holiday. Try Independence Day. 2 more 74s. Like July 4th, 7-4. Till next time, Truth Seeker.